What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video and here for another episode of my F1 2021 career mode. Today is time for episode 10, it's the start of the second half of the season and it's time for another jewel of the calendar. It's time for the Belgian Grand Prix, one of my favorite tracks on the calendar, so hopefully that can give us some luck, some advantage against the AI, we don't know, but we'll see what we can do. But first, this is before the summer break and you can see that we're buying some upgrades, buying one from the durability and a minor upgrade that should be ready in 2 races time for the Dutch Grand Prix, and we're going to do the same I think for the rear downforce, no, for the front downforce, I apologize. And you can see that we spent a good amount of resource points. In the previous episode at the start you could see that I didn't wasted that many resource points because I wanted to save a little bit more in order to get a good package for the start of the second half of the season. But there you have it, it's time for season break and we're going to skip it forward, and here we are ready for the Belgian Grand Prix. 500 resource points, we're not going to buy any with that, and we're going to fit the brand new power unit because this is a power circuit, as you might know. We use the first power unit package in the last race, the Hungarian Grand Prix, which is a track that doesn't require that much straight line speed. And here we are on the garage. We'll see if we're going to have some rain at Spa, which hopefully we're not going to have, otherwise we're not going to have any sort of race. And it seems that we're going to have some rain during qualifying. Let's take a look at the performance chart. We're getting closer to AlphaTauri, you can see, so maybe sooner rather than later we might start to challenge the likes of the AlphaTauris and maybe, who knows, the Alpines. Everything can happen in the second half of the season. The first half of the season was like almost a 10 out of 10, like I would say 9 out of 10, because nothing will beat the 2012 season. But this season so far has been an absolute classic. Shock winners at Azerbaijan and at the French Grand Prix. So hopefully we can see more shock winners over the course of the race. Who knows, we can be a shock winner, we don't know. And yeah, end of practice wise has been really good. We've been having some good pace, going 17th fastest in the first practice session, and now we're doing the qualifying sim program, if I am not wrong. Here we go through our route. You can see dry conditions, you love to see it, but still I can't go flat out through this corner because I'm running with a low downforce setup, because this is the way to go in a circuit like this. It has a lot of straights, but I don't know, I feel the car feels always so loose, the back end feels so loose as we go through Arouge and Radillon. I don't know, it's weird. I don't know if you guys feel the same, or probably it's me because I'm not a league racer, so I don't sweat that much for lap times. But across the line and we went third fastest, so yeah, that is the first I think with Haas. But at the end of practice we got promoted into P4, but I think it's the best practice session when it comes to results that we've got in this career mode so far, so maybe this gives us a bit of an encouragement, I don't know. But we need to be really careful in qualifying because rain might come to play. But for now it seems that is blue sky, so dry conditions at least for the first few minutes. So what we're going to do, we're going straight out of the garage and set the fastest time as we can, because you never know when the rain can come, so as soon as you set the time, the safer it is. I'm very confident that we can get into the second phase of qualifying. It's been a while since we did that. As we go through, ooh, that was really close to spin the car. Perfectly, I managed to catch the car as we ride that curve massively. And now through pool 1 you can see very good line, a little bit of track extending, a bit debatable, I'm not gonna lie, as now we brake very hard into the bus stop chicane, just hitting the 100 brake marker before hitting those brakes. Open the DRS across the line. It's not going to be a brilliant lap because of that mistake, but it's enough to put us ahead for the time being of the Williams of Nicola Latifi, so I was pretty impressed to see that. And let's see how much time we're going to gain if we don't do the same mistakes. So this time I'm going to be a bit cautious, touching a little bit the curb, and you can see gaining chunks of time, 4/10 of a second gain. And I think this is looking good for us, half a second up on our previous best, but it's only enough to put us ahead of George Russell. We're still behind our teammate. Let's take a look at the times to see how close it is. We are close, so close, less than a tenth of a second separating us, but it seems that we're kind of struggling to get to challenge the Alfa Romeos and maybe the Williams of Yuki Tsunoda. But unfortunately I was getting ready for my second run and it's starting to rain, so this is not looking good for us. And this might be over. I'm going to try to do the lap because it might be a little sprinkle and it might not do anything. So let's not lose the hope. It can be like the Brazilian Grand Prix in 2012, you know. It's raining, but the tries are cool. Let's see if that is going to be the case. Mounting massively the curb on the bus stop chicane. Let's see what we can do as we're going to break into the first corner. Let's try to be confident. We hit the apex, barely losing 0.2 of a second, so I think he's too wet for anything at the moment. And I think that's pretty much over in qualifying, unless the second sector is decent as well for the third sector, as we go very gingerly through our Rouge. We lost the back end, and that's over. We crashed our Rouge, but it wasn't a big crash, thankfully. It was a love tap on my front wing, and that was really lucky. That could have been horrendous, you can see, and thankfully we didn't have any car close to us. And yeah, actually it was a pretty nice spin, you know, getting directly into the escape road. Let's take another look. And yeah, 10 out of 10 I would say. Maybe 9 out of 10 if we didn't tap that well. Anyway, unfortunately, qualifying is over for us. Lewis Hamilton goes fastest. These guys will have to fit intermediates most likely. And they have it 18 fastest is where we're going to start this Grand Prix. But it's not the end of the world, because Spa is a track that offers a lot of overtaking. And generally my race pace is 1,000 times better than the qualifying pace. So I think we can do something about it. 2 Alfa Romeos getting into Q2. Esteban Ocon getting knocked out. So that is impressive to say the least. But anyway, we'll see what he can do in the race. Like I said, you can see that our new rival is Yuki Tsunoda. We beat Antonio Giovinazzi at the end of the Hungarian Grand Prix, so we'll see if we can beat Tsunoda. It's going to be really hard, but you never know what can happen. Hopefully we can start to challenge the AlphaTauris if the performance chart tells the whole story. But anyway, it's time for Sunday's race, the Belgian Grand Prix.
Welcome along then to the Belgian Grand Prix, the race that gave us the maiden victory for the Jordan team in 1998. And in the same team, the phenomenal debut of a young Michael Schumacher. There's always something special around one of the many corners of this fan-favourite circuit. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high-quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. And with me as usual is Anthony Davidson. Let's have a chat about McLaren. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Ricciardo, Max Verstappen and Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso and Pierre Gasly, Vettel, Stroll, Kimi Raikkonen and Giovinazzi, Ocon, Mick Schumacher, Thomas and Yuki Tsunoda. They've taken a grid penalty. Latifi and George Russell ends our grid lineup. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
And here we are on the track, guys, ready to start off the Belgian Grand Prix, starting in pace 17 thanks to a grid penalty. At the moment I'm forgetting who is, but anyway, strategy-wise, it seems that we go from the softs to the hards, and that is kind of debatable. I think it's a better idea to go on the mediums, but I'm going to take the risk and trust in Jeff and see if the hard tires is the better tire. Generally, tire wear, at least for me, is not really high at a track like Spa, but who knows, maybe it can be different for today's race, as we're seeing those 5 red lights for one of the classics of the calendar. The second half of the season is on the way for the Belgian Grand Prix. Lights out and away we go, and it's been a shaky start, losing the back end like crazy. Look at the stuff on Nicolas Latifi as he loses completely the front wing. There's a lot of debris on the track. Down inside we go of Esteban Ocon, and the virtual safety car gets deployed. I think Ocon has also front wing damage, but that was a huge shunt, but not enough to put these 2 guys out of the race. We're going to try to see the state of the car of Esteban Ocon. I think Latifi doesn't have the full front wing. I think he lost the front wing completely, and the same goes for Esteban Ocon. He doesn't have a front wing, so if it was a safety car, that would save these two guys, but it's not going to be the case because they are going to lose, because sooner rather than later the virtual safety car is going to disappear and we're going to have us sooner rather than later once again the green flag. But we're watching the start of Esteban Ocon, and yeah, everyone is going slow into last source, which is pretty normal, and Ocon misjudged the situation, and yeah, that's it. Ocon once again losing front wing. Please tell me that I'm not the only one thinking that Ocon has been losing a lot of front wing so far in this season. He's worse than Alexander Albon. I'm sorry to say that. I'm really an Albon fan. Anyway, that was really unfortunate as we're watching Albon's future teammate in real life Formula 1 losing his front wing once again, as we skip a little bit forward into the same lap, and the virtual safety car is ending. So we're going to get this Grand Prix underway once again. It's a shame that we didn't get that lap one brush through the Camel Straight, but it is what it is. It was not a really good virtual safety car. Anyway, this Grand Prix gets underway once again, and we'll see what we can do about it. I really want to challenge the Alfa Romeos, but it seems at least in qualifying they definitely have the upper hand on us. But down inside, side by side we go with Giovinazzi through Blanchimon. Look at the straight line speed that we have, and now down the inside we go, not just off Raikkonen, but we're going to try to do the same on Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin. Everyone is going slow in these slow corners, but we ran massively wide and we lost the position to Raikkonen, and we were under threat from Giovinazzi. But that was heroic from us. And now, talking about heroic moves, there goes Giovinazzi up the inside, not just me, but of Giovinazzi, and he was trying to do something on Stroll as well. So Giovinazzi, what a move he did into Lassos. No contact, no any sort of contact, no damage. I'll give a round of applause to Antonio Giovinazzi. We're going to keep this Grand Prix underway, try to see if we can re-overtaking, but here comes Antonio Giovinazzi on Lance Stroll. I'm going to try to maybe make a free wide. I'm going to be careful and let these two cars battle and maybe try to take the pieces of it battle. Lance Stroll holds the position and Giovinazzi has to stick behind the green Aston Martin. For us, I'm trying to see if I can make a move, but at the moment it seems that I'm struggling a little bit to keep up with Giovinazzi. Going bubble on the first sector thanks to the slipstream, so that is not surprising. But we have a smoking Aston Martin, and it is Lance Stroll. His Belgian Grand Prix is going to come to an early end. You could see having an engine failure right in front of my eyes, and they have it pulling to the side of the track. No virtual or safety car is going to be deployed, and we're going to keep this Grand Prix underway. You can see it, actually we gained a pretty decent amount of time through the bus stop chicane. I think in the slow corners we are pretty strong. However, in the fast corners like Pool 1, we lose buckets of time to the ice, which is a bit worrying. At the moment I'm pushing like crazy to not lose the DRS window of Giovinazzi, because DRS is really important in a power track in order to keep up with the train with another guy, to have more overtaking opportunities. I think we are close enough to make a move on Giovinazzi. This time he won't have the DRS of Lance Stroll because he's out of the race, and here comes Tom on Antonio Giovinazzi, and that is going to be a pretty easy move unless Giovinazzi can outbrake us. He doesn't do that, so, and we are up into P12, so we're doing a decent job in that Haas at the moment. P12 in the Haas after struggling qualifying. I think that is a decent job. This is Lewis Hamilton, and he's down in P3. Lando Norris in second place. Norris doing brilliantly once again. This is Sebastian Vettel going side by side with Fernando Alonso, two veterans of the sport going at it. Alonso run inside he goes, but Vettel defends that very aggressively, and Alonso in the process lost the position not just to his old rival but as well to Sergio Perez. I think Perez has a great penalty, I'm not entirely sure, but he's way down the order. And this is Daniel Ricciardo trying to make a move on Max Verstappen. The Red Bull seems to be struggling today at this power track, and Ricciardo putting his power unit to good use, that Mercedes power unit, and Verstappen at the moment really struggling in the track like Belgian. That is really weird to see, and he's at the moment closing down the top 5. The two Ferraris not very far from the Red Bull, and that would be maybe a bit embarrassing to see the two horses overtaking the bull, we can say like that. Anyway, this is Lando Norris in second place at the moment. Valtteri Bottas in a league of his own. Bottas has been so strong so far in this season. Hamilton struggling a lot on the other hand, and he's going to try to minimize the pair damage by going around inside, try to take the second place. Norris hangs in there. Great battle. We've seen these two going side by side. Great battle at the British Grand Prix. We're Norrising again, this time at the Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. Norris going to try to defend by taking the inside line, squeezing a little bit of Hubble. This is fantastic stuff. Beautiful Helicam shot. This is great. I'm loving to commentating this race at the moment, an entertaining race. And they're still going at. They're going side by side like Alonso and Vettel did a few laps ago. And they have it side by side, but Norris runs out of row. He has understeer. I don't know if Hamilton was over aggressive or if they made contact. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to see Norris's POV and see what really happened. And it seems, yeah, no contact. Norris just ran out of road. Maybe ran into some tire marbles, lost the front of the car, and tons of understeer was the result. And he lost the position to Hamilton. But yeah, Norris has been doing brilliantly so far in this season, doing wonders in that McLaren, winning one race, being super consistent. I think he's the man of the season so far. Bottas as well is beating Lewis Hamilton. Anyway, lap 7, we're going to pull into the pits and dress a brand new set of hard tires. Hopefully the hard tires are going to be the correct tire to be in. Otherwise, we're kind of screwed. So I'm going to trust in Jeff in the strategy and see. Let's pray to the F1 gods that this is the right tire. I ask about the weather. No weather is going to come into play, so it's going to be gloomy for the entire race. We're going to come out in P16. Ocon and Latifi, remember, I had to pit in lap 1 to change their front wings. Ocon is on the softest comparative tire, which is really weird to see. If I was him, I would go with the hard tires at the end of lap 1. But you can see, unfortunately, we have some floor damage. So this is not ideal, and I can tell you that probably we step on those high curves. Because during practice I had floor damage 2 times, and it was by stepping on hard curves, probably at Eau Rouge or maybe in the bus stop chicane. So our car is kind of limited at the moment. We're going to be not at full potential for the rest of this race. This is Kimi Raikkonen leaving the pits, and he's with a medium comparative tire. So we have 2 options here. Is he going for the 2-stop, which it doesn't seem like to, because the 2-stop is not really the best strategy to go with. Or he's on the 1-stop and we're kind of screwed, but hopefully over the course of the race, over the course of the laps, we can see maybe the medium tire start to fade away a little bit. We don't know, is what we're going to find out in these next few laps. This is Antonio Giovinazzi getting out of the pit. This is pretty close, like it was with Raikkonen, and he's ahead of his teammate. Are they going side by side through Eau Rouge? I think they're not going to risk that because they are teammates, but this is a bit worrying for me because amongst, you know, my rivals, I'm the only one on the hardest comparative tires, so this is a bit worrying, I'm not gonna lie. And there comes Gio, and he overtakes me pretty easily without giving any satisfaction. Doesn't even need to outbrake. Look at the straight line speed, and now it's going to be near impossible to re-overtake him because he's on the medium. So what I need to do now is wait for these guys on the mediums to, you know, the tires start to drop off massively and regain these positions. So this is maybe not the best strategy, we'll see, but you can see running massively wide, and this is going to give Raikkonen an opportunity to overtake. Side by side we go through pool 1, and there's nothing that I can do, but I run a little bit wide, track extending, I'm not gonna lie, but this is going to allow me to try to regain this position. Side by side we go with the veteran. It's not the first time that we're battling with Raikkonen. We went a bit wide and I kind of invited Tsunoda to go on the inside. That would be, you know, that would end catastrophically, but now Raikkonen gets that position, but we're going to have another straight. Let's see if we can get some slipstream, but here's the plan. What I'm doing now is trying to get track position and hope for the best, and these hard tires can come really handy in the final laps of the Grand Prix as Mick pulls into the pits and we're gaining and gaining on Raikkonen. And you can see our rival, our newest rival, Yuki Tsunoda, with a privileged view of this battle, and I was trying to go run its side through the bus stop chicane, but Raikkonen gets really good on the brakes, so those mediums are an absolute weapon at the moment. You can see how much he stretched. 6/10 at the exit of that chicane is a corner, is a traction zone that I always struggle against the eye, but we went massively deep into last source, and this is going to allow Tsunoda to go through. So this race is starting to be a disaster. I'm not gonna lie, maybe this floor damage is not doing us any favors, and that might be stopping us, you know, for having better pace. How much? I don't know. How much how far we are from our full potential. But yeah, this race is turning out to be a frustrating one as Ricciardo overtakes his teammate. So once again, we're seeing Ricciardo doing some good performances, and this is Valtteri Bottas leading the race. Is a Mercedes 1-2 once again, and Hamilton is pushing hard to catch his teammate as he goes through pool 1, and he loses the back end. Can Hamilton save that? Hamilton spins round the second place, and he's going to lose a buckets of positions. Hamilton bottles it, cracks under pressure while trying to catch the championship leader, which is a teammate to make things more dramatic. And yeah, Hamilton was round, and he spins quite spectacularly through pool one. And you can see, yeah, he just lost a bit the back end, and then you can see what happened. Yeah, Hamilton pushing, trying to not be beaten by his teammate for the first time. And yeah, Hamilton cracking under pressure. Who would have thought? Not just in real life this year, as well in the game. Anyway, these are the two stoppers. This is Verstappen. No, this is not a two-stop. I think this is an unscheduled pit stop, and Verstappen is changing his front wing. And I think Ricciardo is doing the same. So what is happening to these guys? We've seen so many front wing changes so far in this career mode series. I know that I say a lot of times during this series, but yeah, the AI is so wild in this game, which is good. However, they do more stupid things, and I shouldn't be complaining because generally we take the advantage of that, and that has allowed us to score points in some races. But anyway, this is Lewis Hamilton overtaking Sergio Perez. He's doing a comeback drive. At the moment, the two Ferraris looking pretty good. Valtteri Bottas, Lando Norris, and then Charles Leclerc in the final step of the podium. However, Sainz really wants that podium, the first one of the season, if I'm not wrong. So this race is pretty interesting for the guys at the front. For us, it's not being that amusing, I'm not gonna lie. I really like this track, but at the moment, I'm not feeling comfortable with this car. I'm trying to find the limits to see if I can catch these guys, hoping that the mediums start to fade away, but things are not looking good for us. Schumacher overtook us, which I forgot to show, but unfortunately, yeah, I was going to say, unfortunately, we're not matching our teammate, even less now because we spun through La Source, and yeah, this is being a terrible afternoon for us. I have no pace, I have no tires, I have no brakes, I don't have anything, and basically what this is being at the moment is just a test. We're seeing Lando Norris in a very lofty P2, so once again, being consistent and still Leclerc in the podium, but I think that is a Mercedes! Norris is in the lead! Bottas! I think Bottas spun in the same place as Hamilton! Bottas! What is happening? The championship in the spins round, Lando Norris is leading the race once again! Oh, it's the same thing as Hamilton, but this time, you know, he didn't go to the other side of the track, so he lost just one position, but are you kidding? This can't get any more dramatic. Bottas, oh, it's the same mistake as Hamilton. It's exactly the same, a carbon copy, but it wasn't that bad. This man leads the race now. Lando Norris is leading the race, ladies and gentlemen, in a McLaren. With 5 laps to go, if he doesn't crack under pressure like the two Mercedes, he's going to win this race. The second win of the season. This has been quite a season for Lando Norris. I really hope that he gets a win in the real life Formula 1. I'm recording this before the Italian Grand Prix, so hopefully this doesn't age bad. But here we are, we're going to pull into the pits. We're not going to retire from this race, because I like so much this track that I'm going to fit a set of softs, and yeah, I'm going to try to have some fun. Maybe try to set a cheeky fastest lap of the race, because now I'm racing for nothing. And you know, I really like this track, and I really want to race all the entire laps. So yeah, maybe a bit dumb for me because I should be saving the power unit, but what can I do? I really love Spa. Let's see if we can do something decent and try to take something positive from this race. And this is good as well for getting a point when it comes to our rival with Tsunoda, because the fastest lap of the race counts as well. But this is Hamilton. We're watching his progress in this race after that spin, and down inside he goes on Charles Leclerc. Sainz actually is on the podium at the moment, but I don't know for how much longer he's going to stay on the podium unless Leclerc can do a brilliant defending job like Alonso did in the real life Hungarian Grand Prix, but it's not the case, and Hamilton goes through. Talking about Fernando Alonso, this is him, as I can't, you know, play with the replay cameras. Anyway, this is Fernando Alonso, ladies and gentlemen, on Sebastian Vettel, and Alonso is on the hardest comparative tyre, so this makes me believe that maybe the harder comparative tyre, the hards are the better tyre to be on at the moment. But things didn't work for us, I don't know why. As we're going through pool 1, you can see that I was trying to take as much speed as I can, but track extending, not even a warning, so thanks for that, Michael Massey, being consistent when it comes to penalties as always. So you're going to join me for the rest of this lap to see if you can do something decent, as now I'm abusing a lot from the curves because we already have damage, we're not racing anyone. Latifi is 50 seconds behind us, which is kind of shocking to see. At least I'm not the only one having a terrible afternoon. The same goes for Latifi. I forgot to say that George Russell was out of the race. He was outside of the points anyway, and yeah, we'll see if we can do a good lap. We're up on our previous best. We didn't improve on the first sector because we didn't have any DRS or slipstream, as we brake very hard into the bus stop chicane. And let's see how good this lap is going to be. I wasn't pushing that much because, like I said, I just wanted to have some fun We were 1.7 seconds up on our previous best. But anyway, this is the last lap, ladies and gentlemen, and Hamilton still has some business to finish as he's getting the slipstream on Carlos Sainz. Carlos Sainz really wants to get this podium, but it's going to be really hard to defend from the world champion. And they have it, Hamilton going on inside Sainz, I should say, doing everything on his power to get Ferrari's first podium of the season, and they're still going at this. Is fantastic stuff. Meanwhile, at the background, you can see Leclerc defending from Perez, and these guys are still going at it. Sainz pushing left, right and center, but unfortunately, oh, that is so unfortunate for Sainz. I would love to see Ferrari up on that podium, but unfortunately, it's not going to be the case. But fortunately, it's going to be a much better case for this man. Lando Norris won the French Grand Prix a few episodes ago, and he's going to do the same at Belgium. Lando Norris gets his second win in Formula 1 at the Belgian Grand Prix. Absolute masterclass from this man. A round of applause for Lando Norris. Brilliant race from the Brit. He didn't crack under pressure, and that has paid him golden dividends, we can say like that. And he's going really slow, you can see. So I wonder if he ran out of fuel or something. But what a race from the Brit. For us, it's been a terrible race as we spin round. And can I manage to... That was really cool. I think that's the only positive part that we can take from this race. Yeah, it's been a depressing afternoon for us, and yeah, it's even more depressing because this is a track that I really like. My expectations were really high, not for points, but maybe a top 15 or even better than that, like we've been doing on the last two races. Yeah, I'm feeling really sad. It feels really bad, but it is what it is. Things can't go our way every single time in Formula 1, even if the track that you're racing is one of your favorites in the calendar. But yeah, at least the race was pretty exciting from the guys at front. For me, it wasn't, so yeah, I apologize. The pace wasn't there today. Here we go through the final corner, through the bus stop chicane, and we're going to across the line, or... Okay, this is a bit embarrassing, you can see. I think this is why I... You know, yeah, this is kind of embarrassing, kind of spectacular, giving some amusement to the crowd, and yeah, that's the end of the Belgian Grand Prix for us. It sucks.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Many doubted whether they could pull off the win here at Spa-Francorchamps, but they've done so in spectacular style. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Our drivers are making their way out for the podium celebrations, and it's going to be McLaren picking up the winner's trophy. Congratulations to the entire team for that fantastic performance.
Oh, that is so beautiful to see, you know. Look at Lando smiling on the top step of the podium. I really hope we can see this in the real life. I'm recording this before the Italian Grand Prix. Last season we have a shock winner. Hopefully we can have another one this time in the shape of Lando Norris. Just look at him, winner, and there is Lando Norris. You love to see it. It's impossible to hate this man. And yeah, for us, yeah, you can hate me because that was embarrassing. I think that's the reason that we're replacing Mazepin in this career mode series. 3 spins in the last lap! What the hell was that? I don't know, but anyway, depressing afternoon even for Max Verstappen outside of the top 10, so I'm not alone. And as well for Esteban Ocon. So let's move on and see if we can do a better job at Zandvoort for the Dutch Grand Prix. I just want to forget this race. I really love Spa, but this race is one to forget. Let's take a look now at the championship standings in anytime soon. There you have it. Valtteri Bottas leads the driver standings. He stretched the lead by 3 points in this race, and he's 20 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton. Lando Norris back in 3rd place, baby. And Leclerc gets up into P7 thanks to a decent race from Ferrari. Much better one than it was last year. And Pierre Gasly gets up into P12 after overtaking Esteban Ocon. For us, still in P15, Antonio Giovinazzi gets up into P18 because he got a better result than George Russell. In terms of the constructor standings, we have still Mercedes leading in the League of Their Own, but things are getting pretty close between Red Bull and McLaren. Thanks to the dreadful weekend for Max Verstappen. Haas still in P8, and Ferrari didn't gain any positions in a very positive race. Unfortunately, it it wasn't enough to get a podium, that would be sick, but today it wasn't the case, unfortunately. Great comeback from Lewis Hamilton. But guys, that has been episode 10 of my F1 2021 career mode with Haas. If you guys reached here, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new, make sure to subscribe. It really motivates me to make more. Make sure to join family, and if you could share this video, please. These career mode videos give me a lot of work to do, so if you could that, I would be very thankful as well. But guys, once again, that has been the video. I'll see you guys for the Dutch Grand Prix at Zandvoort. Enjoy the rest of the day, and I'll see you guys for a brilliant video next time. But for now,